Alright, so we're given this function g of t equals 6t cubed, 6 over t cubed, and we're asked to find g prime of -2, g prime of 4, g prime of square root of 5. Because you don't want to work this problem 3 times, because this is using the limit definition, meaning the limit as h goes to 0 of f of x, I don't know, let's put it in terms of the actual problem. So g of t plus h minus g of t all over h. So what we'd like to do, instead of plugging in numbers, is actually go through and find the derivative function first, which says what we're going to actually find first is g prime of t. Because once we find the function, then we can just plug those values in. So here we go. We have the limit as h approaches 0. I have 6 over t cubed. Where I see a t, I plug in a t plus h. Minus 6 over where I see a t, I just plug in a t, and I get that. Alright, so now I have to find least common denominator to make one fraction up top. So I'll do that by cross multiplying. So I'm going to get 6t cubed minus 6 times t plus h cubed all over t plus h cubed, t cubed all over h. Alright, since all of this is in the denominator, I could actually bring it down to the bottom. So my new denominator, make this a little smaller, is going to become, well, let's just throw the h out front, t plus h cubed, and then t cubed. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to cube that piece. So I have minus 6, and now I'm going to cube the t plus h. So I cube the first one, plus 3 times the t goes down, the h power comes up. 3 times t goes down, the h power comes up. And then plus h cubed. So all I did was simply cube t plus h. So now I have the limit as h goes to 0. As you can probably guess, I'm going to have to distribute this -6 to everything in parentheses. So I get 6t cubed, which was just that one, minus, start distributing, 6t cubed, so we know that's going to cancel, minus 18t squared h minus 18th squared minus 6h cubed. So that's all I did, was just simply distribute that -6. And then I'm just going to write all this junk back down on the bottom. Okay, so from here, as I mentioned, we can certainly see that cancels. I don't really see too much else going on up top, but I see everything is in terms of an h up top, so I can factor out an h. So that leaves me what, -18t squared minus 18th minus 6h squared all over all this business. La, 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 la. And then finally I can cancel my h's. And so now I'm to the point that I can let h go to 0. So let's see what I got left. I got -18t squared. If h goes to 0, those two pieces go away. On the bottom, notice what happens is that h goes away, so that just becomes t cubed times t cubed, right? T cubed squared, however you want to say it. So I have t cubed times t cubed, or that, which I could even write as t to the 6, because then I could cancel 4 of them out, and so I get this for my actual function. So all I did here was I said, remember when you have same bases, you actually subtract the exponent, so the 2 minus 6, how I get the 4 on the bottom. Or I'm canceling these 2 with 2 down here and leaves me 4. Alright, so once again what this is the derivative function. So now I can go back and just simply plug in my actual values, okay, to see if I did this correctly. And so plugging in the values, sorry, I'm not going to be able to squish this so you can see these, so I'll rewrite them, is I have my function here, and now I want to find g prime of -2. Well, I just found g prime of t, which is this, so that means I take that, and where you see a t, you plug in -2, and if you take and put that to the 4th power, so I get -18 over 16. Of course, I could divide out top and bottom. I don't know, both of those are even. Let's try first just dividing out a 2. So I get -9 over 8, which would, what that's saying once again, is that is the actual slope. Okay, so this is the slope at t equals -2. Well, let's do the other 2 just to be complete. So the next one was g prime of 4. So I simply take -18 and then 4 to the 4th power. So my stylus is not wanting to cooperate. So I get -18 over 256. And so I look at reducing that. And certainly once again I could see that both of these I could divide by 2. So -9 over 128. Again, what does that number mean? That number means that is the actual slope at t equals 4. And then the last one, I have, what did I have? G prime of the square root of 5. So my function once again was -18 t to the 4th. So the square root of 5 to the 4th. Now remember that you could write this, you could either write this as a rational exponent, okay, that's one way you could do this, or you could kind of recognize that if you have the square root of 5 and you put it to the 4th power, what does that mean, right? That means the square root of 5 times the square root of 5 times the square root of 5 times the square root of 5. Square roots cancel, so that becomes 5. That becomes 5. So that's where you're going to see where I get 25 on the bottom. So the answer would be -18 over 25. And once again, that would be my slope at the x value, or in this case the t value, of square root of 5.